What do you think about dark woke? Is that what you meant about libs and progressives getting some edge? No, here's like, this is what I'll say. I don't know how to do this, and I don't know how to make people do this, and I don't know. There's like, let me see if I can think of stages of this. Okay. Let's say that you got a guy in a wheelchair. You can be like, we'll see if I can do 5 of these. We'll call this level 5 ableism, okay? You have a guy in a wheelchair and you hate people in wheelchairs. They slow people down, drag on society, waste of money, fiscally, family, kill them. These are just like evil, hateful. You don't like people in wheelchairs. That's what you are, right? This is like, it feels like hate. I'll say it sounds like hate. I spelled sounds wrong. Okay, good one. It feels like hate and it sounds like hate. Then you got people who are like, they don't hate people in wheelchairs, but they're kind of like bothered by them. And they make like a lot of mean jokes about them. So maybe you call them like bullies. But if you were like, should we kill all people in wheelchairs? We're like, no, bro, well, that's fucked up. But they're like mean to them. Look at this crip walker or unwalker. Fuck this guy. Feels mean, sounds mean, right? Then you've got people who can joke with them. They're kind of like mean, bantery jokes, but it doesn't feel like it's coming from a place of hate, you know? Like, hey, what's up, buddy? I guess I'm not taking the stairs today. I don't know. Something is some fucking joke or whatever. You're walking with a wheelchair friend, right? So, like, it's like mean jokes, but, like, it's coming from a good place. You know, the guy doesn't hate him, right? And then you've got, like, people who are, like, compassionate, and they're really, like, hey, don't treat your wheelchair friend like anything else, okay? He's a normal human just like the rest of us. Like, come on, let's be cool, right? It feels like it's coming from a place of compassion, but it's like, it comes across as a little soy. And then you've got the people that feel soy. Actually, I'll say it feels condescending. And it sounds soy as fuck. Okay, there's room for this to be improved. Okay, doing this off the top of the dome, all right? Everybody in society agrees that hateful people are bad, right? Let's just go right to race, okay? Everybody agrees that these people are bad, okay? You sound racist, you are racist. Fuck you, not cool, right? We haven't all come to an agreement that this over here, however, is bad. This weird, like, condescension of like, oh, we need to take care of our minorities because they are like, they've been enslaved and fucked over by society for so long, okay? I think that the majority of, like, conservatives are somewhere in here. I think that the majority of, like, far left media is somewhere in here between these two. And I wish that we could like aim for somewhere in here. And I think it would solve a lot of our problems when it comes to like messaging. So what does this mean? It means that I legitimately and genuinely believe, this is epitomized in ContraPoints talking, that when ContraPoints, fuck, I just want to play this. I should just have this clip ready. Does anybody have ContraPoints talking about trans spaces or whatever? Was it in here? What's an example of feels nice and sounds mean? An example of feels nice and sounds mean is when you got a friend who like banters with you, but he like clearly knows where the line is. And when you need him to like step up to like recognize some shit, he will always do that, you know? So like feels nice and sounds mean, I think is some shit where you go out, well, using the wheelchair example, right? Like you go out drinking with friends or some shit and chill. I don't know. Think of like a wheelchair ramp joke. You make a joke, it's otherizing. You're pointing out the fact that he's in a wheelchair, whatever. And it's like me, but like you guys, you're not across the line, you know. But like when you leave the bar at the end of the night and your friends are all taken off, you're like, hold on, I'm gonna help like Jim like get his car or whatever. Like regardless of like however you joke with him, like at the end of the day you have his back, and that's, there's no question about that. There's never, I don't know how to express it, but there's never a question in your mind where it's like, is this guy like actually like a piece of shit? No, it's like absolutely not. Like this guy will always be there for me, 100%. You don't have to think about it, you know. I guess you can compare it to, I mean, obviously, maybe everybody thinks they're in the middle. I don't know. I mean, I would say I'm in the middle. I would hope, I guess. But like, so like I would joke with Dan all the time about Jew shit or whatever. But at the end of the day, I don't think Dan would ever think I would legitimately be after him on some Jew shit ever. I don't think that would ever happen. But I think that the issue is that progressives will progressives label everything to the left of one. Why can't I see my mouse? Oh, oh, because it's turning this. They'll label everything to the left of one as like fucking 4 or 5, which is obnoxious as fuck. So if you make any jokes or if you're problematic, they'll say that you're basically a white supremacist, which is bullshit. And then you end up in this world where I genuinely do believe that minorities prefer to deal with people who are at like even 4 than people who are at 1. You'd rather a guy that's just kind of like a piece of joke and makes like a piece of there's like a guy who's like a piece of shit and he makes jokes about you all the time or whatever, but he treats you as a real human being. He's just like down on you on this like whatever minority status. But I think you'd almost rather deal with that guy than the people who are like ultra fucking soy, who are like the condescending, crazy, like, oh my God, like we have to be sensitive to all of your whatever. I think that that's like it's the vibe that I get. Maybe not for everybody, but I feel like there's a decent chunk of people that have that feeling. Hold on one second. Is it this one?
Hundreds of hours making. Anyway, let's look at the tweet. This is the most scrutinized paragraph I've ever written, and it's so mediocre. This has happened to me before in hyper-woke spaces. Like it's me and a bunch of cis women, and we all have to go in a circle saying she, her because I'm there. There's this paradox where I can go to a sports bar in North Carolina and be miss-ma'amed all night, no question. But in self-consciously trans-inclusive spaces, I have to explain my pronouns and watch woke people awkwardly correct themselves every time they say, you guys. I guess it's good for people who use they, them only and want only gender-neutral language. But it comes at the minor expense of semi-passable transes like me, and that's super fucking hard for us. So people interpreted this tweet as me being against the practice of sharing pronouns, which I'm literally just not. Like, I've actually been the person who initiates the pronoun circle many times. The backstory of this tweet is basically that I once got triggered in a situation where I was with a bunch of cis women and we all had to go around saying our pronouns, and like a typical triggered tranny, I tiptoed over to Twitter to tip-tap type it out. But here's the thing, by the end of this thread I had already talked myself away from the initial frustration I was expressing. If you know my videos and my voice, then you know me saying it comes at the minor expense of semi-passable transes, and that's super fucking hard for us, is sarcastic. It's a minor expense. It's not actually very hard for us, Gorge. It's fine. But people on Twitter don't watch my videos and they don't get sarcasm. So people flipped out over this. I was getting dragged, and I made the poor decision to try to solve the tweet problem with more tweeting, which 100.
Like, I think there's a degree of truth to this. I think I spoke about this the other day where I spoke about how like, because progressives try so hard to tiptoe around and be nice and compassionate and understanding of everybody except for white people or guys, you end up in this weird world where conservatives are like, okay, well, listen, fuck black people, fuck minorities, and fuck trans people. We're just going to do like general messaging. I feel like you can almost accidentally end up in a better place as a conservative to do messaging to people because it doesn't feel like there's constant fucking pandering. And it's like, okay, like, bro, when I was reading, and again, I know that this is what I'm about to reference now is very online shit, but like, holy fuck. The, when I was reading that math book that got published where it was like, black children can learn math better if they're running around outside. I'm like, what? Really? Is this really where we're at? Or that keeping a schedule, that's like a white man's concept? That's like Western imperialism? Really? So we're actually doing the CPT? That's a real thing now? Colored people time is a real thing now that we're putting in our education system? Get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't know. That shit is just like insanely, like unbelievably fucking cringe to me, but... Destiny, I think the problem is the asymmetry. Type 1 people have convinced left-wing politicians and media people to speak in a Type 1 way. Type 5 conservatives, however, are smarter than that and have made sure the public-facing conservatives only say Type 4 stuff out loud, which means the public can't tell that a lot of them behind the scenes are truly Type 5. Yeah, I mean, like, maybe, but, like, another issue, too, is that somebody said in YouTube chat, Destiny, you're ignoring how Trump paraded blacks for Trump. Okay, at the risk of being super white and getting this very wrong, because this is all vibed out, but like this is the feeling I have. If you were to take an average far right black guy and throw him into, you know, on TV and have people watch him for a little bit, that person probably more closely resembles an average black guy. He might be more conservative in some views or whatever than a far left black guy who's like a weird college kid who's on some like crazy Black Panther, I don't even want to say like new black, like just on some crazy anti-Western imperialism. Like that person is going to be less resembling of the black community than a far right black person. Same thing with Latinos or any other minority shit. I feel like the far left representations of these are they're just different colored white people. I'm sorry, that sounds so bad, but that's what it feels like. It's like, oh shit, okay, well we're printing the Western imperialism, Western cultural dominance people, and we're just printing them in different colors, and here we go. And then meanwhile, the right's like, yeah, we're racist, so fucking fuck black people and Latinos sometimes. And trust me, you know, if you're looking for a guy to hate a black person, no better black person to hate a black person, or no better person to hate a black person than another black person. Same thing with Latinos, same thing with white people too, bro. Fucking everybody hates everybody. And the people that hate the most sometimes are the people of your own skin color because they know you the most, because they're your closest. Bigotry, small differences, you know? Yeah, I don't know. If this could be just a vibed out take. Like it could be that in general it's not as true, but one of the feelings I get, one of the benefits that I get when I interact with people across the political spectrum, when I deal with people on the left, sometimes I get this feeling when I'm in groups that everybody's like a little bit on guard, and then I'll drop like, you know, a casual N-word. No, I'm just kidding. I'll drop an R-bomb. I'll call somebody, this is fucking retarded. Or I'll tell somebody to kill themselves. And then for some reason, it feels like there's a collective tension that's broken a little bit. So you're like, okay, all right, this is a safe space. We're cool here, okay? We're not all going to become like evil, hateful, racist, but we're cool. We're chill. It's okay, you know? I don't know. I feel like I get that feeling a lot when I'm in left-leaning groups in real life. There could be other dynamics in play that I'm not aware of. Like maybe just because I'm a streamer, people look to me more, or famous, wealthy, handsome, charismatic, you know. But no. But yeah, I don't know. I wish that people just need to chill. People just need to calm down a little bit. You're literally describing the Atlanta episode where the white lesbian moms adopted black kids. Jesus Christ. This is unironically why Jesse Lee Peterson is so popular. Also, did you watch, Sasha, you're going to watch JLP talking with Adam Freeland? It was a pretty cute combo. No, I haven't, and I probably won't. This is why I genuinely think Asmongold's feedback loop with audience is because he hates that feeling and doesn't have to worry with a right-wing audience. It's all cultural stuff for him. His values besides immigration are left-wing, but this left vibe killer shit actually matters to many people at Destiny. Yeah, I think it's a big deal. Destiny, critique the left, but the right is so fine for black people, XD. Well, I don't think I said that, but okay. But another issue too is that like when I'm talking about these left people that control the culture that aren't Democrats, or at least that are like more culturally popular but aren't really Democrats, is those people don't do anything for black people either. Like, make no mistake, the Marxist socialists, those types of people have only hurt black people in this country, at least recently. You might have been able to make a stronger argument for, like, when the real Black Panthers existed, or in the MLK Malcolm X in, like, your 50s and 60s, where maybe some of the socialist black movements were a little bit more... Something that... I don't know enough history to say. It feels like white people are very good at co-opting black shit. I feel like a lot of that socialist shit got... Like, for whatever black socialist movements there would have been prior to the Civil Rights Act and all that, It feels like they just got taken over by cringy white people. I don't know. But happened with jazz too. What are you going to do? I'm just kidding. Actually, I'm not kidding about that. But at Destiny, can't people just be correct and funny rather than memes always being some ignorant shit? Well, like, I don't know how to say this, but I feel like this is one of the reasons why humor is such an attractive feature to people, whether it's, you know, guys and girls trying to attract a partner, or whether people like funny people. It's because I feel like humor is a way to illustrate, like, in order to make a joke about something, humor is like defying conventions, because you're laughing at something by doing something unexpected, kind of the very broadest sense. But in order to break a convention, you have to understand the convention, and then you have to understand how to break it. So there's a lot of social awareness that's shown from somebody who's able to be funny. It's an important, or it's a skill that requires a lot of social awareness. So there's a way to be funny, and that's why I never tell people like, oh, you should all go and be more racist or whatever. But there's a way to do this where you can make jokes, but it's just so much sometimes. I don't know how to explain this. I don't know. Maybe it's possible I've like gone over the line in the past, but like generally when I'm joking with girls, when I'm joking with minorities, like I'll make jokes. Maybe sometimes I'm over the line, but not generally. The overwhelming amount of time, like I'm in the safe space, but I can still like be edgy, but in a safe space, or like not like a safe space of almost, but like I'm in a safe zone where it's like, this guy's not actually racist, is he? But sometimes when people are like, oh, we should just make more racist jokes, like you have to be aware of when somebody's just like beating down on a person. But I don't know how to put that into words. Like I don't know. There are times when I hang out with people and it's like very obvious, like this guy probably doesn't like it when you guys keep joking about this over and over and over again. Like I can tell that this guy is like not comfortable. Like you should joke about something different. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to. I kind of disagree. A charismatic person talking to their in-group isn't making edgy jokes. They are flowing with the vibe. Well, sure. I mean, it depends on... No, I actually 1,000,000,000%... I 1,000,000,000,000% agree with you. I'm trying to think of if that would change everything I just said. Because that's true. Because when I make edgy jokes, it's not the same way as conservatives making edgy jokes. Most conservatives, I don't think, are making edgy jokes anymore. Like when the reason why a joke that I make is edgy is because the joke seems to point in the opposite direction of what my actual political beliefs are. So if I'm making, like when I said like, oh, how do I break the ice with the N-word, right? Obviously I don't do that, but that's like a joke that points in the opposite of my political directions. But it feels like most of the jokes that I hear from conservative spaces don't actually point in the other direction. They just reinforce the norm. Yeah, I don't know. Fuck, I'm not sure. I don't know. It's just false what you said about black people being more accepting of 4. Most black people are center left. They would cringe at 1, but they would stay away from 4. I think you're probably right. That's probably my bias as being like a really straight presenting white person. I think that 4s are where you find a lot of your token figures. I have found these people before. I knew black people in high school that did this, probably because it was an overwhelmingly white environment. And I knew a couple of gay guys, one that was a supervisor at my carpet cleaning place that did this, where these people are the first ones to make the racial jokes or the homophobic jokes. But that's because it might be because they're just trying to win. They're being the uncle, whatever, of they're being the token of their group because they're trying to win favor maybe of the other group, which is sad, I think, but... What if a conservative would make an edgy joke about Trump tards? I don't think conservatives would accept it. Destiny, maybe it's just funny to them. You're doing the condescending thing. It's not a... No, I don't think so. And I don't think I'm doing the condescending thing. I think that if you're in a predominantly... The only reason why I say that is because I feel like those groups actually were homophobic and might have been a little bit racist. So I don't think that it's... Maybe not in high school, but the Guy that I knew at my carpet cleaning place, I'm pretty sure most of my coworkers were at least a little bit homophobic. So for the gay guy to be making constant homophobic jokes feels like a group buy-in thing rather than like genuinely funny jokes. At Destiny, calling out hypocritical behavior in a cheeky way is kind of the humor that is effective, no? Sure, it can be, yeah. Yeah, not being super soy about it, yeah. Check out the R-word report on Bonerbox and the H3 sub. R-word, like, because he says retard, or... I don't know what that means. Was the supervisor closeted gay? No, he was like gay. Like gay presenting, like talked gay. However, whatever the fuck the gay accent is, he was like all on that. Are edgy jokes really always pointing in the opposite direction of your apparent beliefs? Or maybe that's just good edgy jokes? Well, I feel like for a joke to be edgy, the joke has to be traveling. It doesn't have to end, but it has to travel outside of your comfortable stated political beliefs. Otherwise, it's not edgy. Or if you want to call it edgy, I would call it quote unquote safe edgy. So like this is one of the complaints I've had before. So there's a lot of people market themselves as edgy, but they're actually safe edgy. So like Hassan was an example of this. The like America deserved 9/11. That's not an edgy comment because his whole community loves that. It's a safe edgy comment. It seems edgy, but in reality, it's totally in line with his group. So like when I make jokes about like when I Luigi post, which I'm going to talk about in a second because we can't do that on the server anymore. But when I Luigi post about like Elon or Trump or whatever, I might even say edgy colloquially, but that's really safe edgy. Like there's nothing like everybody in my community is like, oh hell yeah, that's whatever, right? This is like safe edgy. I'm not like really, there's no edge there in my community. Everybody fucking hates these people. What do you think about actors with dwarfism taking roles that just make fun of their condition? It's hard to parse out if they're able to truly just laugh off their condition. I don't know. That's a really hard one. I'm glad for people with dwarfism like that, like for Game of Thrones and everything. I thought that was a nice role because it was super serious, acted really well. Although I think some people don't like Peter Dinklage. Supposedly he made it harder for other dwarves to get jobs or something. I don't know. I read somewhere that people don't like him. I thought the gun diagram shit that Hassan posted was pretty edgy. Not in his community, though. All of his community would laugh and joke about, like, killing capitalists. I mean, it might be edgy and then he might like, get banned for it, but it's not something where your audience could be like, oof, that was a oof, you know? I don't know. Or, I mean, if you want to call it all edgy, you can, but there has to be some way to differentiate between, like, so, like, here's a question. Would Hassan ever make a joke about, like a socialist, something having to do with, I guess, like, wealth or whatever? Like I went to my socialist car dealership the other day because I wanted to trade in my Porsche for a super expensive, like a Lambo or something. I don't know. Like that would be kind of like more edgy because he's kind of like poking fun at himself, you know? Destiny from DFW. All my friends and family are MAGA, and I found that highlighting my not soy characteristics and then subtly showing them how whiny Trump is pretty effective. Soy is poison. Soy is poison. But yeah, I don't know. Why is Trump talking about DEI, doing the number one appealing to whites? Doesn't sound soy as fuck. Because people aren't opposed to DEI. They just don't like DEI for other races. DEI for whites is the best. That's people that don't like DEI want DEI. They just want it for white people. Would you say type 1 people are more hateful towards type 2.5 people than type 5 to type 2.5? Wait, what? Type 1 people are more hateful towards 2.5 people than type 5 is to type 2.5 people. Oh, maybe, but I think people might always, maybe, but I think on the left it's because you don't criticize people all the way on the 5 because you already know they're bad, right? Like if Trump says something racist, nobody's going to call him out on it because, oh, it's Trump. He's supposed to be racist. But I think that if somebody's closer to you, then people are more likely to do it. But yeah, I don't know.